Go ahead.
Hi guys, Valkyrie here, and welcome back to Seduce Me the Otomi. We are doing Matthew's route, and we left off at a cliffhanger, and we're now here. I'm still ill because I'm recording this on the same day because I thought I've just moved into my new house and I may as well do some recording because I couldn't have bloody internet. So, you guys have got stuck with my voice today. Alright then. I hope you enjoy the video, my dears. Why do you want me to move into the estate so soon?
I thought I made that rather clear. The college near your grandfather's house is well known for its business program. You are planning to major in business, yes? Right after you graduate from high school, you'll just live there and can easily commute to and from school. It's a perfect fit for you.
But it's so sudden. You just decided so quickly right after the funeral.
Don't be so sensitive. If you're like that in the real world, you'll be crushed.
I'm just saying that maybe we could talk a bit more about my future. In reply, my father rubbed his temples and sighed quietly.
After you graduate from college, you'll work at Anderson Family Toys. I have connections since I am part of the board of directors, so you will be guaranteed a spot. That is what we talked about before, yes?
But what if...
Stop mumbling!
What if I don't want to work there?
Don't be silly. It's the family company. Our company. I'm not just going to hand it over to some incompetent vice chairman.
He came close to me and his face softened.
Look, this is all for the best, okay? You may not know it right now, but you will appreciate it later.
For some reason, when I heard him say that, something snapped in me. I wasn't exactly sure what it was, but it made me feel so angry. Do you even care that grandfather passed away?
Of course I do.
Well, everything seems fine and dandy to you. Things couldn't be better.
Excuse me? I don't like your tone, young lady.
You can not like my tone any way you bloody want, man. It's like nothing even happened at all. Like you just ignored the fact that he's no longer here.
Do not raise your voice at me.
I'm not raising my voice at you. I'm actually keeping my voice quite quiet because the lads are asleep. What did he ever do to you to deserve this? My father, his face hardened, crossed his arms and erupted in angry laughter.
Ha! You sure place him upon a pedestal, like he's some kind of venerated god or something. It makes me sick.
Is that it? Are you happy seeing grandfather dead? While everyone was grieving, were you holding yourself back from laughing in everybody's faces? Do you feel just a little bit happier seeing him lie in the graveyard? Ow. The prick slapped me. A flash of rage crossed his face and he whipped back the back of his hand across my cheek.
You don't know anything! Running your mouth like somehow you know everything that went on, when you're just a little girl that doesn't know how to keep her mouth shut! You did not know my father! You did not know what he was capable of.
Is everything all right? What happened?
Nothing. I'm not hungry. I think I'll just go upstairs.
Honey, wait!
I quickly turned and ran upstairs to my room, slamming the door shut behind me. My breath came in short pants, and for a while I just leaned against the door to my bedroom, eventually sliding down it to sit against it. How did things become like this? My cheek still throbbed and I intently stood up and looked in the mirror to see how it looked. Hopefully it doesn't bruise. What am I saying? Tears formed in the corner of my eyes, but I blinked them back rapidly. I couldn't cry for a second time today. I had to be stronger than that.
Are you all right? Your father told me nothing happened, but you know your father.
Yeah, I'm fine. I just lost my appetite, and he slapped me.
The lasagna's done, though, and I don't want you skipping any meals. Are you sure?
Yeah, don't worry about me, Mom. I'll come downstairs later to eat.
You're not telling me the whole story.
I just don't want to eat right now.
Please, dear. Tell me what's going on. I wish you would tell me why you're being like this.
I wanted to tell her. Part of me was screaming to tell her what Dad had done. At the same time, I knew she couldn't fix anything. Besides, I was moving out regardless. I remained silent, letting the event remain in the past.
Oh, I'll leave your food on the table if you want to eat it later.
Finally, my mom left me alone. It was strange to think that she was only a few inches away from me, only separated by a single wooden door. I really didn't know what to do. I needed to do something, anything to get my mind off of what just happened. Anything would be better than thinking of any more about the pain that still radiated from my cheek. I was going to move into my grandfather's house tomorrow. I should pack my stuff so I would prepare for tomorrow. Yeah, that was a good idea. I should start packing. I opened the closet, rummaging around for a while, before I finally found 2 large bags. Pulling them out onto the floor of my room, I began to empty my drawers and cabinets so that I would bring all my things with me. I didn't have that much to bring, other than just clothes and some toiletries. It was kind of bizarre that I didn't have many personal belongings, unlike me, who has 2 freaking bedrooms full of stuff. It wasn't like my luggage was completely devoid of them, but I certainly didn't have many things in my room that I would miss if I was just suddenly to leave the house. I shook my head to rid myself of those thoughts. If it was going to be my new home, it would have to feel like it. One way or another, I was going to make it a home. Just as I was packing my things, my cell phone began to ring, and vibrating in my pocket. I slid my phone out of my pocket and answered it, while slowly easing myself onto my bed. Who could possibly be calling?
Hey Anderson, you there? Is everything alright? We were worried about you, so we decided to call. Hello?
I'm really glad you guys called. My voice managed to come out, though it was only a whisper.
What happened? Are you okay?
Well, I slowly began to tell them about the funeral that afternoon. A small silence followed, then I was done recounting what happened, and to my relief Naomi finally spoke up.
I can't begin to imagine how you must be feeling right now. I'm so sorry. Do you want us to come over right now?
No, it's okay. My dad isn't in a good mood, so could we just keep talking on the phone like this?
Of course! We'd stay on the phone until the crack of dawn. Right, Suzu? Yeah. We're always here if you need us. After all, we wouldn't be the awesome triple threat trio without you, right?
Yeah.
Triple threat trio? That sounds like the name of a gang. Yeah, I mean, we're all taking on the world together. We've got to sound somewhat scary, or else no one's going to take us seriously. What's with you and naming things? You've got to step up your game, Naomi. Falling behind the cool kids like Anderson and me. Hey! I'm a cool kid! If anything, I'd say you have to step up your game!
We chatted cheerfully about all sorts of things. Very soon, I had forgotten about the events of that day, and I was engaged in a conversation about Naomi's favourite TV show, some program called Herlock. We all agreed that the actor playing the tutorial character certainly had a distinctive look about him, with that long overcoat and scarf wrapped around his neck. We had many disagreements about who we thought was the coolest character. Yeah, he's really high cheekbones, and his eyes are pretty, though I do have to say I prefer Jackson. And as a bonus, his actor is just so sassy. I looked at the clock hanging on the wall, and I realised how late it was. Whoa, it's already 1 a.m.? Sorry for keeping you guys so late. I think I'm gonna go hit the hay for tonight. See you guys tomorrow at school. I should probably shower and go to bed. I can't believe I stayed up this late just to talk to my friends. But it was really nice. Well, to the bathroom I go. I took a relaxing shower. Nothing beat hot water and the feeling of being clean. After drying myself, I promptly dressed in my pajamas and crawled into bed. A nice hot shower after a long day. I'm glad to finally be in bed. It'd been a really long day. I knew that I was wishing for something to change back in class, but I certainly wasn't expecting any of the things that happened today. And I have to go back to school tomorrow. Ugh. I curled up on my side and tightly wrapped the blankets around me. I really wasn't in the mood to be returning to school, but my dad probably would make me just go for the sake of it. It's time to go to sleep. I reached out to my lamp on my nightstand to turn off the lights. However, my mind was so lost in the passing of my grandfather and the thought of inheriting something so big that it haunted my mind the entire night, until the next morning. I shook my head trying to clear the sleepiness out of me, to no avail. I really didn't get any sleep last night. It's already time to wake up. Wait, school? As soon as I realised I had to go to school, I slid out my bed and looked in the vanity mirror. That's a relief. Luckily, there was barely a bruise on my cheek. You had to squint to actually see it. I doubt anyone would actually notice it unless they leaned really, really close. Breathing out a sigh, I got dressed, took my backpack, and caught the bus to get to school. It wasn't even hours before everyone heard the news. I was approached in school and given condolences for my loss. However, that wasn't what shocked my friends.
Wait, so you have the whole Anderson house to yourself? Lucky as hell, man! Quit being so sensitive, Naomi.
Quit being so vulgar, Suzu.
It is a big... Probably big. Hey, but Naomi...
Man, come on!
Oh, excuse me, guys. I didn't realize I'm German.
See? She knows about proper public taste.
I know how to be a lady. Sheesh.
Guys, I'm going there after school today because my parents want me to get used to living there.
Seriously? It hasn't even been a day since you came back to school.
I know, but my parents want me to try living there as soon as possible.
Still, that's really fast. Are you going to be okay?
Of course. But even in the comfort of my best friends, life seemed to keep testing me. Oof.
Hey! Don't go around shoving people like that.
Whoops. Did I strike a nerve, Capini?
She let out a small laugh as she twirled her hair around her finger, Lisette. One of the last people I wanted to see today.
It's not me you should be apologizing to.
Oh, Anderson. Hey, how's it going?
I'm alright.
Haven't you already heard, Lizette? Of what? Her grandfather's passing. Well, I'm sorry about that. I don't really watch a lot of news.
It doesn't really sound like you mean it.
I do mean it. Earnestly. Why wouldn't I?
Typical Capini. Isn't her family involved with the mafia or something? I wouldn't be surprised if she brought out a bat from behind her back right this moment.
I'd nearly forgotten the crowd that followed Lisette, which is mostly comprised of people that no one wanted to see on a typical school day. No one had the slightest idea why they followed Lisa around persistently, but they labeled themselves as social equals with her.
That is out of line! Suzu comes from an honest family.
Says the one whose family profits from political scandals.
Yeah, your dad doesn't make anything unless he's in the court with dirty politicians.
Hey, let's all calm down for a second, alright? I'm sure Anderson needs some time to recuperate. I mean, what just happened? We need to give her some respect.
Just stop. Stop acting like that already. Like you feel sorry for me.
What are you talking about?
I'm sure you're happy seeing me like this. You already have everything you wanted, and now seeing me like this, life couldn't get even better. Bitterness seeped into me, and words started flying out my mouth without filter. But honestly, I didn't care. I was so consumed by anger that I only saw Lisa in front of me. What exactly am I to you? Just another part of your obstacle course? Is that what I am? I'm sick of it, Lisa. I'm sick of all these charades, and I'm sick of you. Gaps swirled around the crowd around her, and I always brought back to the school hallway. Even my friends beside me looked at me surprised. One girl looked like she was going to speak up, but then Lisa held her hand up to stop her. There was emotion in her face that I couldn't quite make out, but I could see a form of pity in her eyes. No. Don't you dare pity me. I looked away from her. I didn't want to see that emotion in her eyes when she was talking to me. She didn't have the right to look at me that way.
I'm sorry. I know your grandfather passing away must have really taken a toll on your emotions.
She stepped towards me, and put a hand on my shoulder, giving me a tiny smile as if for all time's sake. But for some reason, I didn't feel comforted at all. Not that I was just angry at her, but the expression on her face was, as she leaned close to me, contorted into something complex. Something was different about her. I couldn't quite place my finger on it, but something about her had definitely changed.
Well, I'll be going for now. Track meet responsibilities and all of that stuff. See you later.
Something about Lisette made me feel uncomfortable. It wasn't just anger, but also uneasy. What was it? I'd never seen her like that before. But I decided to pay no further attention to it. She continued running down the hallway with her gaggle of friends behind her. I focused my attention on Mrs. Phillips, who was walking down the hall towards me.
Is everything all right, girls?
Nothing we couldn't handle, Mrs. P. Just a bunch of snobs.
Suzu, hush!
It was nothing, Mrs. Phillips.
I see. Well, Miss Anderson, please accept my condolences for your loss.
Thank you, Mrs. Phillips.
Your grandfather was a good man. He really upheld the philanthropy of his company's policies, and the money that went towards charity, too.
I know. He was amazing. I really looked up to him and I want to be as good as him as he was.
Well, I know that you'll be as great as your grandfather.
Hell yeah, she will. She'll be 10 times better than her grandfather.
Would I? Would I really be better than my grandfather? Everyone seemed to have high expectations for me. I wanted to do my best and make my family proud, but to be better than my grandfather? I wasn't sure about that. From outside the school window, I saw a familiar blue car pull up to the curb. Undoubtedly, it was my father in the driver's seat. Oh, my ride's here. Well, I guess I'll see you both tomorrow.
Want us to come with you?
Oh no, it's okay. I'll be fine. See you. Hey, Dad.
Hey, honey.
As I got into the car, I noticed my father looked troubled, clutching at his steering wheel as he stared straight ahead, as if something was really bothering him.
About what happened yesterday. I'm sorry for yelling at you. Does your cheek still hurt?
No, it's nothing to worry about.
I mean it. I shouldn't have laid a finger on you. You know that you're my most precious daughter. You're all that I have.
Yeah, he couldn't bring himself to say what he could never say to me for such a long time. I always wanted to hear those words refrain from him how he really felt. But I guess, even now he can say to me. I turned my head so I looked to the window. There was no point waiting for something that was never going to happen to come. And like that, he started to drive and the conversation between us ended. I decided to focus my attention on the passing scenery. We were taking the usual route to Grandfather's house. It was located within the vicinity of the school district, but it was pretty far from the school and from where our house was. He had always lived alone, and he insisted on doing things by himself, even at his age living in such a large house. I wondered, did he pass away with no one at his side as well? It sounded so lonely, so sad. It was strange that he decided on living all alone in his large estate. If anything, he could have lived with us. Though he and my father probably would have given each other the silent treatment the entire time. Maybe living alone was preferable to that. I actually hadn't visited him for quite a while. Visits to his house was most frequent when I was a child, and I had grown up long since then. The last time I'd visited, though, was afoot. He looked, as he usually was, happy and healthy. But things change. In the back of my mind, I knew that he would have to leave one day. It wasn't like humans could live forever. So, why did my heart still feel so heavy? The car ride was mostly spent in silence until he spoke up again.
How was school? Maintaining your grades, I hope.
Yeah, I've been trying my best so far.
Trying? That's not really doing the best you can, is it?
With my father, only some words I said would filter through his ears. It was difficult to keep up a conversation without eventually talking about my academics or my future, even if it was something loosely based on it. He always found a way to integrate it to whatever we talked about.
Anyway, your belongings are in the trunk. There isn't a lot, so I'm sure you can manage bringing them inside the house. After all, you are on the road to being independent now.
Yes, I can manage on my own. The usual silence resumed between us. I wasn't really sure what to say around him, especially when most of the time we didn't share the same opinions. One question did linger in my mind, though. If he was going to justify acting so nonchalant at Grandfather's funeral, I had the right to at least know why. It's me, try again. Say, Dad. About you, Grandpa.
We are not talking about this.
I feel like we should, though, because Grandpa did leave us yesterday, so...
I wouldn't care if he had left even long before that. I do not want to hear it, and that is the end of this conversation.
As always, he managed to shut down any other form of conversation related to him. It was just like what happened last night. I opened my mouth slightly, but I closed it again. It was like talking to a brick wall. It wasn't like I could find anything out, but it was something arguing my way through it. Alright, then. I leaned against the car door and stared out at the window. I really couldn't think, what would this place be like? I had been to my grandfather's house before, But it was one thing visiting, and it was another thing actually living there. I'm really loud. Sorry, guys. How would I manage living on my own without any training to really care for a house? I knew that naturally the bills would be paid by my parents, who inherited her grandfather's stocks to the corporation, but I had never lived independently before. Thinking about it made me feel like some kind of bird being pushed out of the nest. Though I was technically an adult, I felt not prepared and a bit daunted at the prospect of actually moving into a new place. Most people my age would be ecstatic moving out. After all, it would be symbolise some kind of change in their lives, like being on the road to independence. But I felt like it was nothing of the sort. I really hoped I wouldn't let my parents down. I wouldn't want to let my grandfather down. What would he be saying right now? I gazed up at the passing clouds in the sky. If you're out there, grandfather, how would you be doing? Would there be anything you'd want to tell me at this moment? And of course, no answer. What was I doing, searching for an answer in heaven that would not exist? I ducked my head to stare at the blur of the trees and cars from the window. My head was definitely going into the clouds at most at the moment. Either way, I found myself being driven to my new home. The car rolled to the stop and I drifted out my thoughts.
Here we are. Go on in.
Alright, tell Mom I love her.
All right.
I love you, Dad. No, make sure to come by and visit us often. No, I'm going to miss you lots. Nothing other than a blank stare. I paused a bit before reaching the car door and had Noah waiting for any form of goodbye, but he didn't speak again. I sighed and exited the car, hearing my dad pop the trunk. I only saw 2 large bags that I packed last night. That were large enough to carry only things I needed. I took them out and placed one bag on each shoulder and closed the trunk. He then drove off, leaving me alone in front of the mansion. I watched the blue car fade into the distance of the road before turning to see my new home. There it is. It's huge. My grandfather gave me this. It's hard to believe. The house was framed by a set of tall gates. I hesitantly pushed them aside, taking in the entire estate. The house still looked like it was when I last visited him. At a glance it seemed kind of intimidating with its size, though if I came closer it was clear that there was more to it than that. The brick walls were framed by strawberry and lovely flowers, giving it a homely and welcome look, but in the contrast to the tall doors into the house gave me a feeling of grandeur. Who knew what was waiting for me? But I wouldn't back down this time at this moment. I took out the key of the front doors and unlocked them. Well, might as well make myself at home. I'll be staying here for quite a while anyway. That's when I saw them. Lying on the floor was a group of men. They were all unconscious, but there was no explanation as to why they were there in the first place. I dropped my bags as I let the door close on its own behind me. Huh? Who the heck are these guys? Why are they here? What's going on? Some of them had open wounds. The blood was staining the floor and the scent was intermingling with the air. I couldn't help but feel bad for them instantly, but nevertheless I was shocked and a bit angry at the sudden intrusion. My mind suddenly went from caring and concern to confused and demanding answers. Who are you guys? No response. I'll call the police. Still nothing. None of them seemed to be awake to answer or respond me. It seemed surreal to have random strangers in the house I just moved into, but I wanted answers quickly. That was until... Eep! Get away from me!
Woman! You're going to let me kiss you.
I couldn't believe it myself, but within a mere blink of an eye, one of the men went from lying on the floor to being right in front of my face. What was even more odd was the fact that I felt serene and calm about it. Slowly a desire burned from my chest, telling me to accept his kiss, even when my mind vehemently refused. Go ahead?
Good.
As he kissed me, I could feel my body go weak. I didn't know why, but that kiss was draining me of my energy, and yet it was so good and made my heart sing. It was a strange and tingling feeling that danced over every nerve of my body. I could feel streams of entanglement energy run up through my body into my lips. It felt odd, but at the same time, it felt amazing.
Sam, stop it.
The person kissing me, Sam was his name, glanced behind him.
I said stop. Now.
Fine.
Finally, he pulled back and I was left standing there in a daze. What? I couldn't tell what was going on in my mind, but my mind was completely enwrapped by the kiss and my thoughts that melted into the depths of my forgotten memories.
Please forgive my brother. He's a bit reckless.
At least I feel a hell of a lot better than you right now.
Because you used your abilities on her.
Sam, you're such a reckless brute. Taking advantage of a beautiful young woman like her.
Shut that pretty boy mouth of yours before I rip it off your pretty boy face.
Sheesh, you guys. Can we not fight right now? Not all of us are in the best state.
I guess you are right, Matthew.
And that's who we're doing this playthrough. Matthew!
I agree.
However, as the men got up and started to chat freely, my thoughts began to reassemble, and I remembered my confusion and anger once again. Only now multiplied tenfold. What?
Huh? Did you say something beautiful?
And I exploded. What is going on? Why the hell are you all here in my house? And why are you all wounded? Why did you kiss me? And who are you guys? I couldn't help exploding. But after being taken advantage of and being left in a mush state, my words escaped without filter. I definitely scared the men around me. Even the man who kissed me. Wait a second. The guy who kissed me.
Ouch! What's your problem?
What's your problem? You can't just go around forcing people to kiss you like that. Are you some kind of pervert?
Pervert? It was only a kiss!
It might mean nothing to you, but it means a lot to me.
What? Was it your first kiss?
Ow!
Hey! What was that for?
I know first kisses aren't exactly amazing and full of sparkles or something out of a fairy tale, but I had at least expected to be a bit more just enforced.
So it was your first kiss. Stop making such a big deal out of it.
Are you asking to get punched again?
Well, what do you want me to do? It's not like I can somehow take it back.
Hit him again. You want to perfectly do this. Sorry,
Ow!
Sam.
You're just being violent now!
You deserved it. Anyway, if you try and pull any funny business in the future, just be fair warning and I taekwondo. I think I've bickered enough. Time to get back to the main issue. So, what exactly are you all doing in my house?
Miss, please forgive us in our intrusion. We didn't know this abode belonged to anyone, nor did we have the time to take that into consideration.
What do you mean? You don't just barge into people's homes.
We wouldn't have had to if we weren't as wounded as we are currently. We just escaped from a deadly fight that could have ended our lives. Luckily for us, your home was near and the windows were unlocked, so we quickly came inside.
The last time I remembered, there were laws preventing strangers from stepping into private property. Although, considering the severity of their wounds, it had to be serious. I guess that explains the wounds, but not why he kissed me. He had absolutely no right to do that.
Well, lovely flustered lady, it's hard to explain, truly. We're not exactly normal.
Not normal? What are you guys? Demons or something? I asked almost jokingly, but the boys seemed to take my question differently.
Well, yeah, actually, something like that.
Eh?
We're incubi, miss. Demons who consume and use sexual energy of humans to survive.
Incubi? The fabled demons that existed to haunt humans and make them sex-crazed monsters? The mythical beings that could look like anyone just to get into your pants? The imaginary monsters you only saw on TVs and movies? That incubi? Anyway, guys, I'm gonna stop this video here for now. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next video. Gianni.